Okay, George Sombonos, welcome to my little studio on Cab Talk. It's a big pleasure to meet you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure.
And thank you so much for bringing us this food. This is going to be my breakfast. What did you pack?
Wings.
That's my favorite, the hot chicken Licken hot wings.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a confession to make. It's not often that I have chicken Licken for breakfast, but today is an exception, and I suppose it's not often that I get to have a chicken Licken meal with the founder of the business as well. So it's a big privilege for me.
Thank you.
Now, behind every name of a business is usually a fascinating story attached to it.
Yes.
How did you come up with the name Chicken Licken?
It was the suggestion of a waiter
Oh, really?
who worked at the first store, and I said, "What's wrong with you today?" And I said, "I can't call it golden fried chicken because it's too descriptive." And he said, "Why don't you call it Chicken Licken?" And
Okay.
I said, "Where did you get that name?" And he said, "I read the story to my daughter."
Oh,
And he brought me the book the next day, and as a thank you, I gave him 300 rand.
well, that is a fascinating story.
Yeah. And then we had the name, and we
Yeah.
filed in an application for the name, and then a sign writer did the chicken head for me for 75 rand.
And that's become quite an iconic
Yes.
logo as well.
So for 375 rand, we were in business. We had a logo, no big studios, no nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's really awesome. But let me ask you this. What inspired you in the first place to get involved in the chicken fast food business?
I used to work for my father at the dairy den at Uncle Charlie's, which was a landmark.
Okay.
And after a while, I liked working there because he would give me a ticket to go to the States. But I used to work long hours till 1:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Weekends, 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the last hour we were sitting and serving drunks and giving us a hard time. And then I looked at KFC, and they were closing at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and making a lot of money. And I thought, that's the business I should be in. Then
Yeah.
I don't have to work till 2 o'clock in the morning serving drunks.
Okay, no, that's very interesting, and it
Yeah.
always hard work always pays off at the end. All those long
Yes,
hours that you put in.
yes.
But what makes Chicken Licken a winner? I mean, you obviously had to come up with a recipe.
I got the recipe in Waco, Texas.
Okay.
And I didn't know it was a real recipe, and I came here and was mixing it under my bed and swapping it with the Dairy Den's recipe, and then the sales just started to do that.
Okay, so the secret's in the spices, eh?
Spices.
And you've really managed to grow the business quite exponentially in South Africa. You're continuing to focus on expanding your footprint in Africa as well. Tell us about that.
Well, in Africa, we can't go to all the African countries at the moment because not all of them have got suitable chicken.
Okay,
But
that's interesting.
we're in Botswana, and we're going to Namibia soon. And Botswana, we're quite big. We've got 14 stores,
Yeah.
and but they've got decent chicken there. And in South
Yeah.
Africa, we've been dealing with Rainbow for more than 30 years, and they give you whatever you want.
Okay, and the challenges in South Africa now that the tariffs on imported chicken has increased as well, has that affected your pricing as
We
well?
don't import no
Because it's
chicken.
just rainbow chicken that
Just
you deal
Rainbow
with.
chicken. Yeah, no
Yeah.
imported. I mean, Rainbow, if you want to be in the chicken business, you
Yeah.
can only deal with Rainbow.
And of course, infrastructure development in Africa is also a big challenge. You know, the shortage of electricity in Nigeria as well,
It's a
which
big
has
challenge.
held a lot of South African franchises back from expanding in that country.
Yeah. Even in Botswana now, they have problem with power because Eskom has pulled a lot of their power, and their power station is not ready.
Yeah.
So we're having power shortages in Botswana, but Botswana will come right. It's quite an organized country.
But obviously, like most multinationals, you have a very focused strategic approach to growing your business in Africa. But in the early days, you were quite unconventional in your approach when it came to growth, giving away franchises to some degree in the townships.
Yes, I wanted to get some bulk,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a reputation. Who was going to give me money?
Yeah.
And you look like a Mickey Mouse, and maybe you are a Mickey Mouse in the beginning. So I was giving franchises away to get people to come in, and when they were successful, they told other people. And only after 20 stores did I start to charge.
Okay, so obviously, you know, it was needed at the time
It
to
was
grow.
needed. Any venture like this, you have to bankroll it. You don't give the first franchise and start to make money, because you've got to build a brand, you've got to advertise, and that's what. And one of the things that makes Chicken Licken is that the advertising's always been unique, and I've approved every script for the last 30 years.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, George. So I'm going to thank you very much for your time, and I think we can tuck into this now and have a Chicken Licken breakfast together. Like I said earlier, it's not every day that I get to share a Chicken Licken meal with the founder of the business, and this happens to be my favorite. Yummy.